Hold on, restart your microphone.
My microphone is plugged in. Oh, at least now they know we use microphones. Okay. All right, see, now we have everything plugged in. So tonight, Dr. Adrienne Denese is joining us, and I know that she joined us once before, and we were talking about her life story, which was amazing. Hi, honey.
Hi, Judy. How are you?
Great. How are you?
Can't complain, thank you.
Good. And one of the things that came up in that last chat was there were so many different questions that you all had that we didn't have time to get to. Dr. Denese has a PhD in neuroscience. She did research at Harvard, and that was research on the brain and some of the new testing that was going on at that time, literally mapping the different areas of the brain, which is amazing. I'm sure that with mine it would take 2 seconds, but you know.
That's not true.
And then she went back and got her MD and specializes in anti-aging. She's also an avid student when it comes to research, topical skincare, anti-aging, and nutrition and supplements. So one of the things that I think is interesting is everyone says, well, there's so many different points of view. And that's true. There are a lot of different points of view. But one of the things that I always love about Dr. Denese is that her point of view comes from a research background, literally hands-on medical background, and the point of view of a woman who is researching these things for herself. So I think that's about as comprehensive as you can get. And I know that we have a lot. You can see that we're going to be answering questions live as well. But one of the things that I wanted to, should have buttoned that all the way down. I wanted to start out with some of the questions that you asked earlier, and I want you to continue asking your questions because we're going to go back to that as well. But there was a lot of good questions to start with, so we're just going to go through some of those. So this is literally going to be a lot of question and answer.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
There is no prize at the end of this round. There is no monetary prize for you if you answer all the questions correctly. There is no time limit. There'll be no bell. It's just strictly, you know, whatever you know, answer, and whatever is not comfortable answering, let us know. Okay. One of the questions that a lot of you had is about what to use to fade dark spots. And I want us to cover the face and the hands and the neck, wherever the dark spots are, because a lot of women are struggling with that.
Oh yes, definitely. Well, there is a very aggressive way, and then there are topical solutions. Let's start with the very aggressive way.
Okay.
Especially for the hands and chest. If you are just really struggling with dark spots on your hands, on your chest, and you look down and you say, "Oh, that's not just not me," there is a way. You have to go to a plastic surgeon or a dermatologist, and you have to request a trichloric acid peel. Trichloric acid peel. Now, this has to be done during the winter, girls, November, December, because any amount of sunshine afterwards can reverse the effect or can be a problem.
Okay.
So November, December, you go to your local plastic surgeon and say that, yes, I would like to do a trichloric acid peel on my hands, on my chest. It takes about a week to recover, and your hands will be really, really ugly for a week. It will peel and peel and peel and peel, but as it peels, you realize that, well, the dark spots are peeling off.
Okay. And how long until you don't have to cover your hands? I mean, how long until they start looking okay?
1 week later, your hands will look more or less normal. It will still be very sensitive, and it will still be reddish, but more or less it will look normal.
And is it only one treatment?
One treatment, that's it.
And do you have, I mean, any ballpark? I know that it's going to vary in price depending on where you are in the country, but any ballpark, do you know any prices that you've heard for your area? Obviously, your area's around New York. But
yes, exactly. It is not expensive. It is much less than a laser. Laser treatments you have to repeat several times, and even then you will not get the results that a traditional trichloric acid peel can give you. So it's really it's kind of a good solution. It doesn't cost much, maybe $400, $600. It's much less than laser. It works.
Yeah.
You literally peel away the dark discolorations.
Okay,
and
so
that's the end of it.
Right now, it's not October or November.
Yes.
So what are the less aggressive ways?
Less aggressive ways. My facial firming pads, for instance, they are very good for for fading out these
They help.
colorations. They really are good.
They really help.
Absolutely. So that is good. This is based on glycolic acid. Really, any kind of treatment that is high in acids. For instance, I have a wonderful black mask, my volcanic clay mask, which is loaded with 4 different alpha hydroxylic and beta hydroxylic acids. They do a lot for fading the spots. Ultimately, hydroquinone is the medicine of choice. It's an FDA approved product, and it does work very well. But you really have to kind of adjust your expectations. It is very, very difficult to get rid of dark spots. Ultimately, you may just have to resort. If you have it really badly, you may just have to bite the bullet and go for a regular peel.
One other thing I just want to mention is that last time I had a laser treatment from Dr. Bernstein here on the main line, and it wasn't for dark spots, but it was something that, of course, was a result of sun damage, which is the dark spots as well.
Exactly.
And one of the things that he recommended that I did end up doing was having a Lumar window film put on the inside of the windshield of my car and the 2 front side windows, because there's normally no one riding in the back seat. And that is, I'm not sure if they call that SPF or UPF, because I know clothes are UPF, but I think it's SPF 50. And the great thing about that is that a lot of the sun damage that we get is through the windows in the car.
Absolutely.
So there is, you know, a window treatment you can get, and you know, once you get it, it's there. You don't have to keep redoing it. And the brand that I did is Lumar. I think it's Lumarr. But I do want to make sure that you check with the laws in your state as far as what is legal when you go to get your car inspected. Because I got a window treatment that has no tint in it at all. And some people go get something that has a tint, and then they find out when they go to get their car inspected that that won't pass.
Oh,
so just to let you know, check with that.
Yeah.
But I think that's another option if it's something that you want to invest in as far as helping to prevent future
That is a
damage
very,
as well.
very important suggestion, truly very important suggestion. Now, I wouldn't rule out laser. Laser can be very beneficial for getting rid of dark spots on hands, chest, on the face as well. It costs a lot more, and you may have to go back a few times. But definitely keep it in mind.
Okay. A lot of people are asking about the age spots. We covered that. One of the things that a number of women are asking about is weight loss and how it affects your skin.
Oh, wow. That's
a
fantastic question. Well, girls, that's a very
And I know that,
question.
Arlene, you asked about that, but a lot of women asked about that.
Yes, absolutely. Well, the first step is to lose the weight. That's the harder step.
It is.
You will be surprised how well the skin adjusts, and it actually shrinks. Even if you think that, well, my skin will never shrink because it's just loose and it's getting looser, it actually does shrink quite a bit, so don't give up on it. As I've said, the bigger challenge is to be able to lose the weight that will significantly impact the elasticity of your skin, and then trust your skin that it will shrink. Now, if it doesn't, first is give it some time. It may take even as much as 6 months for the shrinkage to occur. But then there are many things that we can do to help the shrinkage.
Oh, good. Okay, get out your pen and paper.
Yes.
This is what we all need.
Yes. Topically, topical products, even the most potent ones, will only do so much. And mine are really, really potent. I take great pride in giving you the absolute highest percentages that law allows, because I want to be aggressive, because we don't have time to play. We want results, right?
Right.
So that's my motto. But even under the best of circumstances, it's really hard to shrink skin, especially under the skin. Very, very difficult. There are some good approaches with laser, with radio frequency treatments.
Are there any specific types of laser or names that they should look for?
Yes, actually, Titan. Then the All-therapy would be very beneficial. But don't expect miracles, girls. I hate to break it to you. Don't expect miracles. Take it with a grain of salt. You will see some changes. These treatments are expensive, so get ready for it, unfortunately. You will see some changes, but it's not going to be a facelift. Facelift is a whole different category.
Okay, that's a bummer because the minute that they create something that snaps my skin back to what it used to be, I will invest a lot of money in that.
Well,
Right,
there
right
are,
along with the at-home lipo kit that hooks up to your vacuum cleaner.
yes, we love that. We
Yeah,
love that.
I'll be
concept.
investing in that as well.
We love that concept. But really don't give up. There are some topical products that can be very, very effective. Very effective.
So what
Yes.
should you look for in a topical product? Because you talked about some of the treatments, but as far as topicals, what should I be looking for if I want something that's going to give my skin the best chance of kind of having a little more firmness or combating sagging?
Exactly, combating sagging. One of the best topical treatment is retinol. Retinol as high of a percentage as possible. I'm very sensitive to retinol. I turned beet red from retinol, so I made a product for myself that gives you very high percentages, yet it moisturizes the skin, so your skin doesn't turn red and tight. That's my retinol maximum serum, retinol max we call it.
Right.
It's a serum very similar in consistency
Hydra
to
Shield.
Hydra Shield, yes, except it's loaded with retinol. It actually looks yellow because there's so much retinol
But you
in
know
it.
what's amazing is I've used that and I had no idea how much retinol there was in it because I had no sensitivity to it at all.
Yes, exactly. It is a lot. I mean, if you use it consistently, you may develop some sensitivity. Like I usually turn red from it the 4th or 5th day, but then I skip a day and then go back and continue, and then.
Because I know at one
the
point you were
irritation
talking about possibly alternating.
Yes,
one night with the
exactly.
Hydra Shield, one night with the retinol. But you
yes.
can kind of see how your skin
Exactly.
reacts.
Yes,
And
exactly.
if you have both of them, the Hydra Shield and the retinol max, then you can use the retinol as much as your skin is good with,
Able
and
to
use
tolerate.
the Hydra Shield to give it a break. And of course, Hydra Shield you'd use in the morning as well.
In the morning as well.
And retinol
yes.
you would typically do at night.
Only at nighttime because it breaks down in the light. That's very important.
Yes. Okay. See, such good questions, such good questions.
Great questions, yes.
Okay, Cheryl, by the way, was asking, she said, dry skin. And she was saying that it's definitely, for her, it's an age thing, which is completely normal, Cheryl. You're not on your own. And she said, I drink a lot of water, but it doesn't help. Do you think moisturizers will help? And she feels like she's tried them all. So what do you think is the best for dry skin?
Wow, that's a very, very interesting question. I would approach dry skin internally as well as externally. I would make sure that I have enough omega-3 on board orally. Mm-hmm. I would make sure that, yes.
Very, very quickly, when it comes to omega-3, is there any specific type or something I should look for? Because there's a million out there and I get a little confused.
Yes.
So is there anything in particular I should know about omega-3 when I'm going to look for one?
Well, it has to be purified and very tightly controlled in terms of quality. I almost always actually buy my vitamins from Life Extension. I trust the brand. They are very careful, very, very much a purist when it comes to ingredients. So I trust whatever they have to offer, and I buy my omega-3 from them.
So I apologize for interrupting.
Yes.
Omega-3. Go ahead.
Omega-3, yes, omega-3. Then make sure that you have your fat-soluble vitamins on board, your vitamin E, vitamin A, which is beta-carotene, very important. Then the most important thing when it comes to topical skincare is to use lipids that are virtually identical to your own skin's lipids, because those lipids talk to your skin. They will connect with your own lipids in your skin. And that's what I was trying to do with my Hydra Shield serum, which is essentially lipids that are naturally present in your own skin. So they connect with each other and they repair the damage that age leaves or dry air leaves.
And by the way, Dr. Denese is doing something special for you, and we're going to talk about that toward the end of the chat, and that will involve some Hydra Shield. So just to let you know, don't panic on that. We're gonna fix you up.
So
with
that's it. And then on top of the Hydra Shield at nighttime, put on a rich cream. I have a very rich cream. It's called Triple Strength Wrinkle Smoother. I love that cream. Very rich. Multiple peptides in very high percentages, firms the skin, softens lines and wrinkles, and really changes the balance of the skin in a way that it improves dryness vastly and dry lines.
And I'm not a doctor and I don't play one on TV, but I have to say I do think that the Hydra Shield is the most amazing hydration booster for my skin I've ever used. And I say that because about 15 years ago, I did Accutane. It took all the moisture out of my skin.
Wow.
They said, it'll come back. Oh, it didn't. Oh, it didn't. Dry as a bone, baby. I was the Sahara. I looked at my skin and it looked like I was 30 years older than I was, 40, 50 years older than I was, and I was trying everything. And the Hydra Shield has been a godsend. And my skin has evened out more now.
Yes.
But when my skin was really dry, I would just bathe in it. Hairline to bra line, bathe in it. I mean, all over your face, around your eyes, on your mouth, down your neck and chest as your last serum before your moisturizer. So that's my own personal opinion, but I think if dryness is the issue, that personally has definitely made a difference for me.
Truly
and again,
does.
we're going to have a little something special that involves
Yes,
Hydra Shield
absolutely.
at
Sure.
the end. Oh, one of the things that I thought was interesting, I would like to know, this is Beverly. Hi, Beverly.
Yes.
I would like to know if there's a supplement that is equivalent to metformin.
There is, as a matter of fact. It's being sold by Life Extension as it happens, and it's an AMPK moderator. And if you call them, they will be able to answer this question. AMPK, just remember that. AMPK moderator, and that actually works very much like metformin does.
Excellent. And very quickly, one more. Adriana said, what was the name of the retinol again?
The retinol,
That you
it
use.
is retinol maximum. It's
There you go.
a Firmatone retinol maximum serum.
Excellent.
If you go on qvc.com or our own website, drdenese.com, it's there. Firmatone.
Firmatone.
Firmatone. Yes.
I'm going to take a small sidebar for a moment and say, Susan Frederick, I love you. And that's because Susan said, Lisa, you look beautiful, but you're getting too thin. Oh, you have no idea how heavy I am right now. I am a solid $150 baby, and I'm 5'6". But it's really been a great quality of life with me and my eating patterns for the last year. It's been an emotional buffet of me and my eating patterns. But God bless you. And that's an example of how if you pull your hair back really tight, it's a Crystal Gale effect. Okay. By the way, Leslie Rodriguez is asking, is the product line expensive? And one of the things that we're going to discuss at the end of this little conversation is something special that Dr. Denese has to help introduce you to the line.
Yes.
And that's going to be perfectly in time for you to save the most money that you can for the entire year coming up in the line in another venue later.
Yes.
So if you want to know if you want to get the best value on her line, we're going to be helping you out with that as well.
Definitely. And it is not expensive, by the way.
Right.
One of my
Comparatively speaking.
Comparatively speaking,
Right.
really is one of my most important goal when I started out in this skincare business is that I wanted to make skincare products available to women. It's not good if it is sitting on the shelf at Berger
no one can
Goodman
afford it.
for $300.
Yeah.
It's not good. I wanted to make a $300 cream available to you for $50 because that is something that anyone can afford.
Excellent.
So that's truly, this is my most important commitment to you as the customer.
Crystal is asking, Crystal Knight, hi Crystal. She said, what can I use for the lines around the mouth? And I know a number of women were asking about nasolabial, lines around the mouth, you know.
Absolutely. Very, very important question. Retinol, I'm sorry to say, and peptides, multiple peptides. You need a really strong, potent peptide cream. My triple strength peptide cream is literally triple the amount of peptide in there. I wholeheartedly recommend that because you can reach for other peptide creams, but I don't know how much peptide is in there. Probably not that much. Based on what I know in the industry, kind of the inner workings, I kind of know how much people use in terms of percentages, and I wouldn't put my name on a product that
Unless
it is different. It is different, and it carries at least double, triple of ordinary percentages that anyone would put in those products. So peptides, retinol, and then there are many other ingredients: the alpha hydroxylic acids, the beta hydroxylic acids. Peel on your skin frequently. That will build collagen. That will improve those expression lines.
Roz is asking about something for firming and expression lines that doesn't contain retinol. So
Yes.
if you're looking for the results of retinol, but she seems to have a sensitivity to retinol, is there anything that gives you the same effect?
Yes, it does. A very potent, high potency peptides creams would do that. And also, I do have a very good cream. I'm sorry to, I really don't mean to be boastful, but this cream, my MedMD 33
Yes.
face cream,
Yes.
it's a clinical reserve cream,
Which is a brilliant idea.
Yes, exactly, exactly. I went truly overboard with that cream because I just wanted everything that I knew works for the skin. I wanted it in this cream.
And so many women say, well, why do I have to get this cream for that and this cream for the other
Exactly.
thing and this cream for that, and then I have 10 different things, and then, oh my gosh. So you literally put all the active ingredients into one.
Exactly, exactly.
So if you're looking for the catch-all, if you're looking for the insurance policy, and by the way, obviously she's going to be talking about her own products because this is something she's been doing for a lot of years, and these are exactly the issues she's been doing them for, and she formulated these because she believes this is the best way to address it. So that's completely fine and normal, and don't worry about it. So MD33 is going to have a lot of peptides?
Yes, a lot of peptides,
Okay.
also multiple alpha and beta hydroxylic acids and hyaluronic acid, and 33 ingredients, literally.
Excellent.
There's virtually none left that would deserve to be in that jar. So that is very firming, very tightening. In fact, I'm able to tell you that it improves the elasticity of the skin. That's a very big deal.
Which is
Very
what a lot
big
of
deal.
women are asking about, because
Yes.
we were talking about, you know, the firmness and the sagging,
Yes.
and I know that you have to be reasonable with your expectations, but to know that that can be helpful is very good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It is. In fact, I have a clinical study that measured the skin's elasticity, and it turned out that it significantly improved after 3 weeks. So that's
And do you
very
make
good.
that for the body?
And I haven't made that for the body,
Well,
but
we
that's
need it.
next.
We need it.
That's next.
How you doing? We need it. Because that happens with age too. You're
does.
so
It
frustrated.
really
You're going,
does.
why are my arms still waving? And I work out pretty regularly, and still, I mean, your skin tone goes not just on your face. So anything that helps the body, I'm all on board for as well.
That's a great idea. That
Very
will be
quickly,
next.
that was my moment of brilliance. Write that down. I was going to say somebody record this, but we already are. Okay, so Arlene Hoffman was asking about evening out skin tone. That would be your pads, right?
Pads, the facial firming pads, any kind of peel that contains alpha and beta hydroxylic acids. These acidic peels truly are able to fade over time. Are able to fade the appearance of these dark discolorations. Hydroquinone is the ultimate weapon, and that works very well. Some people are hesitant about it I don't think for any good reason, but there is some publicity about it. But if it still is not working, then you might consider a peel, a medical peel. Go to a plastic surgeon, dermatologist, and request a peel that has some recovery. Mm-hmm. Remember, if a peel has recovery, that means that the peel is going deep. The problem with these dark spots is that they are sitting
very deep
in the skin, so it's very hard to reach them. You have to be very aggressive, and the peel has to go fairly deep in order to reach that level, and then you can simply peel off the dark discolorations.
Okay, very quickly, Judith says, she said it's not a skincare question, but you were talking about dieting. She said, whenever I lose weight on a diet, my hair starts to fall out after about 3 months. So
wow, that is very troubling to me. Very troubling to hear that. Obviously, that you are facing some significant nutritional deficiency as a result of your diet, and the hair is just the tip of the iceberg. I wonder what else is going wrong. So
you need to make sure that when you're dieting, you are doing it in a very healthy way.
Exactly, supplementing, and have lots of green vegetables and fruits. And
again, I'm not a doctor, but if you're eating really healthy and your hair is falling out, there are a lot of different reasons that can happen, and you should obviously consult your physician.
Yes, that is a very, very good point. One of the most important reasons for hair loss is lack of protein, lack of enough protein. Very important. There are also hormonal changes that can lead to hair loss, and then you have to talk to your doctor about that.
And also stress. I know people who've gone through periods of stress, and so there are a lot of reasons. And if you look at the statistics, there's a consistent number of people who deal with hair loss for many, many different reasons every year. Yes. And it's not just one thing. So definitely, consult your physician about that. If you feel like, hey, I am really eating healthy, that must not be what it is, then definitely go get tested.
Yes, exactly. But most of the time the reason is nutritional, especially in a case like that where you're dieting, you are losing very important nutrients.
Okay, very quickly, Linda, hi Linda, Steffi.
Hi.
She said, if you're using a prescription retinol, can you still use one of your products with retinol,
Oh
or should
my
you?
goodness, absolutely you
Okay.
should. As a matter of fact, your skin desperately needs my Hydro Shield. If you're using a prescription retinoic acid, definitely you will need my Hydro Shield very, very badly because your skin will be dry and irritated.
But can you use your retinol on top of prescription retinol specifically?
It would be too much.
Okay,
It
that's
would
what she
be
was.
too much.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. It
Yeah.
would be too much. Yes.
Okay.
You need some moisture, some significant amount of lipids that are virtually identical to your own skin's lipids, because that's what will be able to remedy the problem of dryness.
Excellent. I have oily skin and dark under eye circles. That's Renee. Hi, Renee. And I'm not picking on Renee because a lot of you were asking about oily skin in some cases and dark under eye circles in the other cases. So let's take oily skin and then dark under eye.
Oily skin. Girls, you have to exfoliate. You have to take it very, very seriously. This problem can be resolved beautifully and very successfully. Oily skin generates large pores, clogged pores, just a constant shine on your face. We can truly do a lot for you. One of the things I would highly recommend is my facial firming pads every night.
I saw that coming.
Yes, even during the day. It's a light glycolic acid peel every single day.
I use it
Super
twice
important.
a day.
Me too. I
Yeah.
do. I
And,
really
and on
do.
the back of my hands.
Me too.
Whatever's left
Yes,
down
exactly.
the neck and chest on the back of the hands, it's really made a difference.
It makes a huge difference. And then I have a great microdermabrasion cream. I mean, you can use any doctor's microdermabrasion cream, but I think mine is particularly good.
Well, that was one of your specialties
Yes.
when you were
Yes,
in regular practice.
As
so-
a matter of fact, and it's really an inexpensive product, and it makes such a difference for an oily skin. Girls, you've got to try it. It's very important.
I just look for microdermabrasion on your website. and I find it.
Microdermabrasion
Okay.
cream, yes. In fact, we have a great special tomorrow. Oh my goodness, you will love this one. A huge 6-ounce microdermabrasion cream in a tube. It will last you for 6 months at least. And a vast amount, 24 ounces of my favorite hydrating cleanser. Everyone loves it.
Oh, okay.
For-
And that's a special tomorrow.
For a pittance, basically. For a small amount of money.
Okay.
So don't
How
miss
long has
out
it
on
been
that.
since you've heard the term pittance?
Yes.
It's been a while. I like it. All right. So very quickly, under eyes, dark under eyes, because I know a lot of people were asking about that.
Difficult problem to solve. Very difficult problem to solve. There are some ingredients that are able to make some difference. I have an eye cream that is actually it's a serum that is effective for that. I collected the most important ingredients in this area and put it all in one tube, and it's called the dark under eye circle cream. Whatever science is able to give you, it's in there, but it's a very difficult problem to solve, unfortunately.
And that's a bummer because there are a lot of reasons that can be the case as well. That can be
the
genetics,
case.
that can be
Exactly.
tired, that can be stress, that can be side effects from different things you're taking, that
Exactly.
can be a million different
Or
things,
thinning
unfortunately.
of the skin as we grow older. So anything that actually contributes to the thickness of your skin, anything that builds collagen, any good skincare will actually improve the area under the eyes, because as the skin thickens, the dark area gets covered much better.
Well, we have a number of people. Catherine Faith is asking about this. Perry Stoller Browning is asking about this, and that's about supplements. What are the supplements that you feel are important to be taking? And
Yes.
I've seen your house, and I know that you're into supplements.
Yes, I'm into supplements. Yes, I don't eat much, so I have to supplement.
That's
because-
true. It is
really
true.
am.
I eat more than her and Katie combined. And by the way, I eat that for breakfast, and I'm talking about their entire day.
It's not true.
It's
not
true. Don't shake your head at me, Katie. You know it's true. No, I'm kidding. So, but she's, Dr. Denese is very, very controlled. She pays a lot of attention to her diet, and she approaches it from a viewpoint of being as healthy as possible. And part of that is definitely the supplement. So if somebody is saying, okay, I can't take everything, but what are the basics? Where should I start? And then if I want to go a little crazier, what should I branch out into?
Yes, yes. Very important question. Wow, it's really a great question.
Yeah, this could be a while.
Yes.
I mean, there are a lot of them, but
a lot of them. Okay, so CoQ10 for certain, at least 100 milligrams.
What does that do?
CoQ10. Well, that's one of the central regulators of our body. Ultimately it's an antioxidant, but it impacts many functions in the brain, in the heart, in the circulation. So that's an important supplement, and we do get deficient at it as we grow older. Vitamin D, so important, girls.
Because she told me to.
Very important, very important. And take at least 5,000 international units. Just remember, if you go outside in the sunshine and you stay there for 20 minutes, you accumulate maybe 25,000 international units.
Oh.
So you will not be poisoned with 5,000 units that you take in the morning. It's
Okay.
not a problem. Okay, vitamin D, omega-3, super important. These fats that the fish has for us, incredibly important. For the brain, for cardiac function, for circulation. Vitamin D, imagine that. Vitamin D impacts 2,000 processes, 2,000 chemical processes in your body. That is 10% of all the processes that take place in your body. 10%. So if you are deficient in vitamin D, you are compromising 10% of your functions. Super important.
Okay, so CoQ10,
Yes,
vitamin
CoQ10,
D,
vitamin D, omega-3. Then I think it would be a great idea to take an overall supplement.
I was going to ask about that.
Yes,
because
exactly.
I think I've heard so many differing opinions on which ones are good and which ones aren't, and which ones are marketing, and do any of them do any good. And so if I'm looking for an overall, a general supplement, what should I be looking for?
Well, Life Extension, my favorite place, they have a very competent capsule. It's 2 a day. You only have to take 2 capsules, which is a big deal, not 30, which, believe me, that's hard to do. But 2 a day, and it is a really well-rounded product in that it addresses most of everything. You still have to take your fat-soluble vitamins, which is the omega-3, the vitamin D, the beta-carotene, because this capsule, this 2 a day, will not give you enough. But at least the 2 a day will give you a good basis of where to start. What I also love, and this is really important, in the marketplace you find these green powder concentrates. They are essentially concentrates of vegetables and fruits, and they taste really horrible. They do. You mix it with water and you just hold your nose and you drink it up and don't think about anything else, just your health for that moment, because it's hard to take. But
when you have to hold your nose, you know
you
it's
have
bad.
to hold your nose. But with that one drink, you are essentially taking in 7 or 8 servings of vegetables. Who eats 7 or 8 servings of vegetables? It's almost impossible to do that. But you get it out of the way, and the vegetables, they really are. They are. How shall I put it? We were kind of meant to live on vegetables and fruits and a little bit of protein. Carbs is an afterthought in a way. Grains, we didn't start to grow grains from a historical point of view until much later.
Right.
We started out with gathering vegetables and fruits and hunting for some animals, and that was it. And so that's how our system is wired. So try to eat as much vegetables as possible. Fruits a little bit less, because there's a lot of sugar in fruits. And I personally feel much better every time I take one of these green powder supplements.
You have one at your house.
I
wasn't brave enough to try it.
I will talk you into it. I really will have to. Maybe put some stevia in it or something to take off the taste, or a little bit of orange juice, whatever it takes.
Just a clothespin on your nose.
Yeah, so that's it.
All right. Michelle is asking we were talking about supplements, so
Yes.
this is along the lines. Michelle is asking, which supplements and tips do you recommend to maintain and rebuild collagen? As they say, it's the key to younger looking skin.
It is the key to younger looking skin. One of the most important things you can do is not to break down your collagen. Every time you walk out of the house, you are breaking down the collagen.
Because of the sun.
Because of the sun. Every time you sit in your car, even if it is overcast, even if it is raining, the sun will find you. And that's how you break down collagen. So the first job we have is not allow the sun to break down our collagen. That's
and very
number
quickly,
one.
somebody was asking about what SPF rating they should be wearing on a day-to-day basis.
I would say minimum of SPF 30 and broad spectrum, very important. Broad spectrum, UVA, UVB. Now, going back to collagen, eat a lot of protein, and you can also take collagen supplements. Actually, hydrolyzed collagen, that can be very effective actually in improving your skin. Now, don't expect miracles. It's much more important that every single day you protect your skin from collagen breakdown, because once it breaks down, it's very, very hard to build it up. It's actually impossible to build it up perfectly. So just remember, your number one job is keep what you have.
Excellent. Cheryl is asking about shrinking pore size, and I know
Yes.
the answer to this.
Oh yes, that is an easy one, Cheryl. That really is an easy one. The reason, first place, pores enlarge as we grow older. That's just the way it is. It just enlarges, period. But your number one job in this area is to keep the pores clean, to exfoliate every day. Because if you don't exfoliate, oily plugs kind of clog these pores, and they just stretch them, and the pore gets larger and larger, and then dirt settles in, and you develop these blackheads, and you just don't want to go there. So your number one job is keep the pores clean, and that's not easy. It's not good enough just to take a washcloth or just some cleanser and clean your skin every night. Oftentimes you have to use the microdermabrasion cream, step in the shower, and just to scrub where you see the pores especially, and you'll get some great results. The number one remedy I have for pores, actually, basically any kind of peel system that has high levels of hydroxylic and beta hydroxylic acid pads. So facial firming pads every single night. Facial firming pads. Make sure that you don't just wipe your face and throw it away. No, please take at least 30 seconds to a minute to go back and forth, especially where you see lines. If you see little lines here, work on it. If you see pores, work on it around the nose. Work on your forehead. Wherever you see pores, wherever you see lines, go back and forth with my facial firming pads. The glycolic acid has a specialty of exfoliating to perfection, digesting away clogged pores, digesting away the substance that is clogging the pores, so you don't stretch the pores anymore than we have to.
Yeah, I love those pads. Lisa Marie said that she's in her 30s. What should you start with? We're going to talk about that towards the end of the chat.
Absolutely.
So
yes.
Don't go away, Lisa Marie. Victoria was saying that you always look very beautifully tan. How do
Thank you very much. Well, that's my own self-tanning secret, you know. I have a wonderful self-tanning gloves that I really love. That's what I use. Well, there's not much left at this point in our warehouse, so I'm sorry to say that. Well, I have a stash. It will last me for maybe 6 more months, and then I will have to turn some other place. But right now I'm using my own. It's a self-tanning glove.
Well, we may have to do something about
We
that.
have to do something
okay,
about
Patty
that.
is asking about weight loss tips.
Oh my!
Because again, I know that it's something that you pay a lot of attention to, and you're very disciplined with.
Girls, if I were to eat the way I want to eat, I would be so fat I would barely fit into this chair here.
I would live on cake if it were possible.
Me too.
But it's
chocolate
not.
cake,
Yeah.
anything. It's not easy. It's really not easy. It's very difficult. But of course there are different reasons why we gain weight. Mm-hmm. There are those lucky ones who just eat a lot and they gain weight, and as soon as they stop eating or eat less, they lose weight. And they are the lucky ones. They are usually younger. Once you get to be middle-aged, you can stop eating basically, and you will still barely lose weight. I don't know if you had this experience. no matter how little you eat, you still don't seem to be able to lose the weight, and that's the killer, and that's the really important question that we have to answer here. Now, once we turn middle-aged, there are many hormonal reasons. Drop of estrogen, drop of progesterone, drop of testosterone can slow down metabolism and give you some weight gain. That's one. But two, I would say the biggest culprit is glucose metabolism. Glucose metabolism. Once we turn middle-aged, the glucose metabolism is not so perfect anymore, which means that there is more and more circulating insulin on board. When you are very young, you have low levels of insulin. You eat a little bit of sugar, insulin shoots up, clears out the sugar, insulin goes back to a low level, and everybody is happy. When we are middle-aged, eat some sugar, insulin goes up, and then it doesn't go down very well. In fact, it kind of lingers at a fairly elevated level. And there are many reasons for that. But the bottom line is, why is it so bad for us if we have a somewhat elevated insulin level? Insulin does terrible things to us. It increases cholesterol level. It increases our blood pressure. Even worse, it puts fat in the middle. This is what the insulin does. Just puts fat deposit in the middle, and that's just about the last thing that we need. So if you are struggling with losing weight, and no matter how little you eat, you still don't lose the weight, the first thing you have to check out is your glucose level, is your glucose metabolism. Go to a doctor, make sure that he checks your fasting glucose level. In fact, you can just go to the drugstore, buy one of these little diabetic kits where you prick your finger, and the little device tells you what is your fasting sugar in the morning.
And it will tell you how long to fast before you.
Yes,
Yeah.
well, actually,
usually in the morning, so you haven't eaten all night.
Yes. It has to be the morning. You really cannot do it during the day at all. It has to be on an empty stomach in the morning. And if that level is around 100, especially if it is over 100, that's the single most important reason why you are unable to lose the weight.
Can you do anything about it?
Absolutely. And that's what you have to treat. That's the key to your weight loss. Once you are able to bring down your glucose level to around the 80s, low 90s, you'll see you will have no trouble losing weight. But the critical issue is it's all about glucose metabolism. And there are several things that you can do.
And they are?
And they
Yeah,
are...
don't stop now.
Don't stop
if you tell me there's something I can do about it, that's the problem. You're going to need to fill me in on what those are.
Yes, absolutely. So if your resting glucose is over 100, over 110, 120, definitely go to a doctor because you need some treatment and to bring your glucose level down. Now in terms of over-the-counter, if your glucose is 100 or just a little under 100, but you still are unable to lose weight, there's a very good over-the-counter product from Life Extension, as it happens, that is actually it's a very clever. It's an herbal concoction. I don't remember exactly the name of these herbs. There are 3 different herbs in there. What I remember is what it does. It helps to clear sugar out of your system. It pushes it into the cells, or it facilitates the elimination of sugar in order to bring your insulin level down. And I know I sound like a broken record, but your most important goal is to bring your insulin level down. If your glucose level is high, insulin is high. If you are able to bring down your glucose level, your insulin level will drop. They move together. So
what is it called?
It's called Tri-Sugar Shield. Tri-Sugar Shield. It has a triple mechanism of action as to how to bring your glucose level down. Tri-Sugar Shield. What you have to remember is you have to take it every time you eat. And if it is at home and you're eating out, then you're not doing anything. Okay, so you have to take it right before you eat, and it will address the sugar issue very successfully, and ultimately you'll be able to shed some weight if all goes well, if you are really compliant.
Excellent.
I know I'm very long-winded here, but
Well,
basically
that's what this is for.
Yes,
Because
exactly.
I think that, you know, in a lot of cases, in the typical format that we're used to seeing you in, it's very compressed.
Yes.
And it's specifically about products, and the products are great, but I think there are a lot of questions that people have, and they take a little bit longer to answer.
explain.
So that's
Exactly,
fine.
exactly.
So try Sugar Shield. I know that she uses it because
I use
she's
it
always
every
telling
day.
me to use it as well, and I try to remember.
Yes, and in fact, whenever we are together, I put it on the table,
Yes.
on her little plate and my little plate, and we start the meal with our
And she
sugar
says,
shield.
have you been taking it? And I say, oh, I was, and then I forgot. And she said, it's okay, as long as you eat with me, I'll always make sure you take it first. So
Yes, very
that's a good
important.
thing.
So what is key really about weight loss is vegetables, protein, avoid carbs as much as you can, certainly avoid sugar as much as you can. And I am only the messenger, and don't shoot me.
Right.
I know it's bad news and I hate it too, but that's what we have to live with.
And I do think that that's more and more complicated because our way of life is geared toward food that naturally has a lot of sugar in it.
Yes,
You know,
exactly.
if you see anything that's processed, the
Yes.
more processed it is, I mean, just generally speaking, it's going to have a lot of sugar. A lot of the things that have been created to say low fat have been loaded up with sugar. So
Exactly.
it's not even just the desserts. You know, we all have to really look at it and read labels and pay attention and try to eat more simply. There are a lot of good documentaries about
Yes.
eating. Hungry for Change is a good one. Fed Up is a good one.
Great, yes.
And, you know, and they all go back to, at one point or another, sugar and how it's crept into our diet and the reasons
Exactly.
why. So it's
Exactly.
not just desserts. And I would like to tell you that you could just eat a box of crackers and it wouldn't make any difference in your sugar level, but that's not the case. So just kind of keep an eye on it from a lot of different directions. Okay. Oh, by the way, Laura says that she loves your SPF Defense Day Cream, and she's wondering if you do a darker version to match her faux tan.
Huh, that's a great idea. Usually what I do is
Because it does have a tint already.
it does have a tint already. It's a very neutral tint. It's interesting. It's based on melanin. Melanin is the inherent color pigment of your skin. So I put that in there as the coloring agent because I want it to match nearly everyone's skin tone. But what I do next
But
is
if you want to match darker than your skin tone.
darker than your skin tone, no problem. And what I do is I put on a makeup that I make, of course, SPF 35, that has a darker shade to it.
Okay.
So basically, I use that as my day cream, and then for some added coverage or some added color, I put a makeup on the skin that matches my skin better.
So another question. And then we're going to have to start talking about the special
Yes.
thing that you brought us, because I realize we're 47 minutes and 42, 43, 44 seconds in to this interview. Angela says, and I think that this is going to be recapping some of what we've talked about, but it's a recurring question.
Yes.
Angela said, I feel like my face is, for lack of a better word, falling. What is best to kind of lift the skin? Is it a cream? Is it a serum? Is it an at-home machine? What type of...
Well, yes. Well, certainly.
All the above?
All of the above, exactly. All of the above.
A multi-pronged approach.
Multi-pronged approach, yes, exactly. You know, some of the topical products can be very potent and very effective. You know, again, look for high percentages. That's the key, high percentages of peptides. If you can tolerate retinol, great. Usually retinol comes in a serum form. So if you see retinol on a cream, usually it's not large enough quantities to be able to irritate your skin. So you're safe with that. But anyway, yes. So high potency serums and creams, and of course then there's a wonderful muscle stimulating device.
Oh, the New Face?
New Face.
I use that as much as possible. I use that every day, and I
Yes.
think that it really...
It does
I'm
help.
not saying that my ears are going to be at the top of my head, but I think that it really helps.
It does help. Like, it's like exercise for your muscles.
Yeah.
If you stop them, the effect goes away.
Yes.
But that's life. So just have to keep it up. But that's very effective. And there are some other methods that you would go to a doctor's office for. Altera, the radio frequency, various radio frequency machines that can make a difference. High cost, and you have to go back a few times, but they can make a difference.
Very quickly, anything for puffiness under the eye?
Well, that's a great question, yes. Make sure that from a dietary perspective, you are good. If you have a tendency for puffiness, make sure that you avoid salt. Many of my patients tell me that, well, I had a bag of potato chips yesterday and I am so swollen, what can you do for me? And unfortunately, we have to start with the potato chips. But I can understand that. As we grow older, the skin loses lax, it becomes more lax, loses firmness, loses tightness, loses elasticity. So whatever is underneath your eye area protrudes more. The skin is able to push it back less and less and less and less. That's how you develop these under eye pads, this puffiness. Now, in many cases, there is a fat pad that is sitting under your skin, an actual solid fat pad. And no matter what you do to your skin, the problem is not going to be resolved because this is a fat pad that will protrude.
Can you surgically have
exactly. So that's exactly. It's a very easy surgical procedure, and there's not even a cut on your on the skin itself. They go in from inside the eye area.
Wow.
And they can lift out this pad, and interestingly enough, the skin shrinks beautifully. And the fat pad goes away. Now, how do you know if you have a fat pad? Would you like to know?
Yes.
Okay. What you do is take a Q-tip and just push on this pad and on this fat pad on the protruding area.
Okay.
And if you are able to push it back, then it's
so if the whole thing moves.
If the whole thing moves.
So it's not just that the pad is moving around. If the Q-tip is moving, but if you push and it moves as a single thing. Then you know it's a fat pad.
It's a fat pad, exactly. If you just it's very easy. Once you have a Q-tip in your hands and you are looking in the mirror, it will be obvious that what we are looking at here.
Okay.
Yes.
I want to talk about what you brought us now. One of the things that Dr. Denese brings today's special value to QVC once a year.
Yes.
And she has one coming up on April the 25th. It's going to be a great value, and it's definitely the best value if you want to have her line.
Yes.
But it's going to be larger sizes, and it's going to be a one-day only price, and that's why it's such a good value. So, of course, the issue is whenever she brings something like that, there are so many people who say, oh, I wish I had tried it because then I would know if I want to invest in the larger sizes. So you have brought us, you're actually bringing us something special, which is going to be the Discovery Kit. Can you talk about that?
Yes, I would love to talk about that. The Discovery Kit is truly the most important products that I've ever created. They are in one little convenient box. Facial firming pads. What do we know about that? We know that it evens out your skin tone. Very important. In fact, I should open it here and show you how it works.
I always have to pierce it and then...
Yes, it's...
Do you want me to do that
but
for
it's
you?
coming. Yes, maybe you can try.
Just manhandle it.
Manhandle it.
That's what gel nails are for.
Perfect.
There you
okay, so facial firming pads. What you do at night time, wash your face first, take out the pad and wipe your face. And you're literally wiping away the look of age. I'm not exaggerating. I'm shrinking the look of pores, deep cleaning those pores. I am working on lines and wrinkles. This is actually, it has to do with collagen production in the skin. This little glycolic acid-based pad is one of the key to be able to firm the appearance of your skin and change the appearance of lines and wrinkles.
This is one of the earliest products that Dr. Denese created, and she created it for her customers on Madison Avenue who are very discerning, very wealthy, but were constantly coming in for the treatments. And eventually she said, you know, I love you, but every other day is a bit much. So she created a couple products very early in her career that she has tweaked through the years but have continued to be mainstays. And the pads and the Hydra Shield are what's going to be coming up in the big kit. But they're also two of the most important, most foundational pieces. They work with anything else you're using in skincare. They're two of the 4 pieces in her Discovery Kit. And if you go to her website and to Dr. Ness Skincare, her website.
Yes.
And if you go to, what was the page started? What to start with? What was it called?
Where to start?
Where to start.
Yes.
Look for the page called Where to Start, and if you go down, it's actually called because it was the War on Wrinkles Discovery, the War on Wrinkles Discovery Kit.
Winning the Wrinkle War.
There you go. Winning the Wrinkle War. It's a 4-piece discovery kit, and it's going to include the pads that are part of the big kit, the Hydra Shield that's part of the big kit,
here.
and those are 2 of the most important pieces. What are the other 2 pieces that it is going to include while we're at it?
Then we have the SPF 30, UVA,
very important.
UVB is super important. Every day, girls never leave the house
One of the most important products
One of the
as
most
well.
important products
And then
ever.
the 4th one?
Dream Cream.
Okay.
Everyone loves the Dream Cream.
Very quickly, those are 4 items that she wants you to be able to try very affordably. So if you go to her website between now and the end of the day, Friday, so that's Friday midnight Eastern time, you will be able to put in, when you order it, put the code in, again, Our Tribe,
Yes.
one word, and you'll save $10 on this discovery kit. And that way, for all of you who have said during this chat, where should I start? And some of you have said, I'm in my 30s, where should I start? I'm in my 50s, I'm in my 70s. It doesn't matter what your age is. Where should I start with the Dr. Ness Skincare is really going to be, these 4 pieces are one of the best ways to start, and it's on her website, and you'll save $10. And it's also a great way where, again, if you're saying, oh wow, the big sizes are coming up in the Hydra Shield and the pads, I'd like to try it first. This will give you time to try it. You can try it for a little bit, and then you'll know when that's offered if you want to invest in the large one. So there's a lot of good, but this is something I think a lot of women wonder where to start. So again, take us quickly through. We talked about the pads, and then
Hydra Shield. Hydra Shield. This is one of the key products, that the most important product that I've ever made. Remember, we talked about how important it is to have lipids that are virtually identical to your own skin in the product itself, so it can communicate with the lipids in your skin. Well, here it is. This is the Hydra Shield. This is what is known for.
And this is a serum that is your last serum before your moisturizer.
Yes.
If you use a number of serums, as I do, and I know some of you do as well, last serum before your moisturizer.
Exactly.
If your skin is not very dry, you can just use it around your eyes, on your lips, down your neck and chest. If your skin is dry, or just on some days when it is, hairline to bra line, it says that you're supposed to wait for it to sink in, because it has kind of an oily feel at first, but it definitely sinks into your skin. It says that you're supposed to wait for it to sink in before you put on your other products. I don't. I love the way that it I feel like it melds with my moisturizers and makes them even better. Around your eyes, which is one of the most important things, that Hydra Shield under your eye moisturizer is a rock star. I cannot even put eye moisturizer on without it. And then it feels like I'm pulling it. It's like this, I'm like, what? Oh, I forgot my Hydra Shield. I mean, it's so those are the 2 of my favorite in my skincare regimen. They're what's going to be in her big kit coming up. And they're 2 of the pieces in this set as well. Your SPF 30, very, very quickly once again.
Very important.
Especially because we're going to be spending time outside.
Yes, exactly. The SPF 30 is unique in that it is tinted. It looks like makeup when you open up the box. Take a look at this. See that? There's an inherent tint to it. And this is based on melanin, the inherent color pigment of your skin. This is 3 products in one. It is your day cream. You don't need another day cream. It's a great anti-aging, hydrating, really well-balanced day cream with excellent high percentage of ingredients. Then, SPF 30, UVA, UVB. You can't live without it, girls. Protect the collagen. It is almost impossible to rebuild it once you break it down. So don't let it happen. And then the reason people love it is that it matches your skin tone. It really, really does, because of the melanin in here, which is the melanin in your skin.
Right.
So it's just the perfect match. Now, oftentimes when I'm just at home, I just put this on, and this is my foundation too. But oftentimes I have to put something else on top. So what you do is you use this as the base. It will cover a great deal. It will give you a beautiful base color too. As a primer, exactly. And then put something else on top.
Okay.
And then you have the perfect
That's 3 of 4, and then we'll go to the 4th one, because I want to make sure that we have time to hit my other little favorite coming up later.
Yes, and then we have my Hydra Shield Dream Cream, which is such a favorite product. People adore this cream, adore this cream. It is my unique Hydra Shield technology, which is based on skin identical lipids.
Yes.
In here, skin identical lipids. That's the essence of my HydroShield Dream Cream. People love, love, love this cream. You put it on at night and you wake up to a different looking skin. It's just soft and supple and it's rehydrated and the lines are softer and it's fabulous. People love it.
So you're getting all 4 of those
Yes,
pieces.
all 4 of those.
You'll save
Of these.
$10 if you go to Dr. Denese's website. Look for the page called Where to Start. And this set, this 4-piece set, is called Winning the War on Wrinkles. When you're checking out, when it says promo code, type in Our Tribe, one word, between now and Friday night at midnight Eastern time, and you'll be able to save $10 on
yes.
that 4-piece set. One of my recent favorites that I've just started using again recently and fallen in love with again recently is the black clay mask.
Yes.
And I love this, and I know you've offered it in the tube
Yes,
before,
yes,
and
yes.
that's how I had it. And it's just one that I honestly feel like when I use it, I can tell a difference in my skin
You
the
can
next
tell a
day.
difference, and
It's almost like, oh, my skin feels a little. And so I said
Exactly.
to Adrienne, I said, oh my gosh, that's amazing. You know, is that popular? Because I love it. And she said, yeah, but we're changing the way we offer it. So this is going to be the new way that she offers it, which is
Yes.
twice as much of it as there used to be. It is not currently available. Do not try to order this now. But if you are part of our email on lisarobertson.com, if you've ever registered for a beauty giveaway, if you just enter your email address so that you're part of our email address, you know, library, then we will send you an email first when this is going to be available on her website, and you'll know when it's coming in. You'll be able to get it, and you'll save money on that as well with the code.
$10.
So just to let you know that you can save $10 on the Discovery Kit, so you can really try the line, see what you think. Then you'll know if you want to invest in the larger sizes, and then you'll be first to know when the black clay mask is coming in.
Yes, and we'll give them $10.
Yes.
Yes.
Because we're just givers.
We're
Okay.
just givers.
So
Yes,
you know what's
yes, yes.
amazing is we actually had, we just talked for an entire hour and we didn't even get to all the questions.
Oh,
Isn't that amazing?
that's the way to.
Maybe it should be a
It's
regular
just-
segment.
Well,
Ask
I would
Adrienne.
love that. I would love that.
We'd branch out into
So
different
happy.
subjects. All right. So don't forget, go to her website, Dr. Denese. And the website is specifically Denese Skincare, Dr. Denese.
Actually, drdenese.com. Yes.
Very easy. Just checking to make sure I'm making it easy for you. drdenese.com. Go to the page called Where to Start. The 4-piece set is called Winning the War on Wrinkles, and you'll put Our Tribe as the promo code between now and Friday night, midnight Eastern time, to save $10 and try 4 of the best pieces. All right. All good. Adrienne, thank you so much.
Thank you
you
so
know what?
much. I'm
You're
so
staying
happy.
over, so we're going to do the mask later, right?
Yes,
Katie,
let's do the
later?
mask.
It's a mask night.
Mask night,
Thank you so
yes.
much for joining us. And don't forget to go ahead and go to the site, get the 4-piece, enter the code, save the $10. Thanks.
Thank you so much.